so I'm not going to gibber on for too long, but I just like to, I just want to sort of talk through the 6 young people who are leaving just really briefly, and then I'm going to hand over to Mr. Clare, who's going to do the same. So there are lots of funny stories about the 6 young people, but if Tony Knowles Williams, I don't know, where's Tony? Put your hand up, Tony. Bloods and tears over there, Tony Knowles Williams. So Tony's been with us for how many years, Tony? It changed every time I speak to her. 8 years, I think. And I set up a team that were once upon a time looking after, making sure the kids stayed in the classroom. So it was the aim of the team I set up was to make sure all kids stayed in the classroom. Do you remember, Tony? Do you remember? Here's the story, she did it a few times. And what happened, we came up with the top 5, and it wasn't a good top 5, it was a top 5, and we called them absconders. The top 5 absconders. And we talked about, me and my team, we talked about these top 5 absconders every week. And we were like, right, what should we do with these top 5? And it was too much to do with the top 5, so we said, right, what should we do about the top 3? And then that became a bit too much. So we focused on the top 2. And guess who was in my top 2? Tony Knowles Williams. She was the lady who was out of the classroom more than she was in. This was back in the day. And if you fast forward then 5, 6, 7 years, we now have our head girl, who I've got to be honest, it's the proudest thing to see this young lady sort of grow up into sort of this mature young lady, who we all know is going to do fantastic out there. She's got the most caring, personality you can have. She's got an influence over all of the other young people in the school. She's a role model to so many people. So that was a story about Tony. Adam Brady, where's Adam Brady? Be your hand up, Adam Brady. There he is, right in front of me. When he started in the summer term when he was year 6. Was it year 5? So this used to be the assembly room. So we used to come here every morning. So on his first day, I was like, oh, we're missing this new pupil, and I've heard all about it. It's Adam Brady, he's like that, ants in his pants and everything. And I looked, and that bush over there, he was sort of stuck underneath that bush. So I was like, come on, like a dog, come on, it's time for assembly. And he was like, I think he was hugging it. Were you hugging the tree, or like handcuffed yourself to the tree? Refusing to go to assembly. Found it. I think just found the whole experience of a new school quite difficult and everything. And again, you look at Adam, and I've been lucky enough to go away with Adam quite a few times. He's just recently come back from a long trip in Northern Spain, so I've taken Adam away a few times. And he's just turned into a really mature young man, a really sensible young man. I mean, Adam used to sort of tell stories left, right and centre, and like one time it was 80% made out of titanium, was it? Yeah. It's gone down, is it? Yeah, so, 90% now. Yeah. But what's great about Adam? Since Adam sort of has grown up and matured, he doesn't need to sort of make up these stories, because Adam's just great company to be around, and I've sat on a chair with Adam many a time in the French Alps, and we just had some nice, deep and meaningful conversations, and he's just a genuine person, and I've got every confidence that Adam's going to go on to sort of bigger and better things, and it's great that head boy and head girl are definitely going to keep in touch with Headlands. So this isn't the end view at Headlands, it's an end of a chapter that I know you'll be moving on, so that's Adam Brady. Emma Young, where's Emma Young? Emma Young. What can we say about Emma Young? She's gonna we've known Emma Young. How long have you been here now, Em? It's 5 or 6 years. And it's Emma. She won't mind me saying, she's got her hands up, so she can't hear me anyway. But she found it hard to come to school during the period when she was at school. So she found it hard to come in every day and make it to school. So we had to do quite a lot of work. But in fact, the last 2 years, Emma's attendance has been the best out of any young person in the whole of Headlands, which is a fantastic achievement. And as a result, she just accessed everything the post-16 has to offer, and has done really well. And I have personal experience of that in doing geography with Emma. She was one of my most enthusiastic pupils, who just, it's just a pleasure to spend time with and sit and talk. And she's got such an interest in loads of like really, peculiar, weird, and wonderful things. And it's just great to sort of spend time with Emma. And again, I've got every confidence that Emma's going to do really well as well. So well done, Em. Moving on next, Rhys. Where's Rhys? Right in front of me. I've got a desk there, so I'm going to look around here. So Rhys Warren, I don't want to embarrass him too much, but Rhys Warren, what a fantastic, he has got officially the best handshake in Headlands School. So if you see Rhys throughout this sort of ceremony, please go shake his hand. He's got the best handshake. He's one of the warmest and kindest young men I've ever met, really. He's so well mannered in a lovely way. When you speak to Rhys, he'll always ask you a question. He'll always ask something about you. He's not sort of the world is about Rhys. He'll ask you how are you, and take an interest into your life. And I just think Rhys is sort of matured. He's recently just come back from a week expedition in Norway, where he's completed his gold Duke of Edinburgh expedition, and that's just that just demonstrates how Reese has sort of matured into this young man who can achieve things in life. So he will go on to do great things, I'm sure, and will definitely keep in touch with Headlands School. I hope his mum's nodding her head. Irene, where's Irene? Irene, behind the tree. There's our very own Irene Buchanan. I mean, we could say all sorts about Irene Buchanan. She is one of the funniest, most delightful people to sort of spend time with. She's just yesterday, in fact, she was getting in a taxi and she was in. You don't mind me saying to you. She was in floods of tears leaving because I think Headlands has been so important to Irene, and Irene's been so important to Headlands School. She's been here how long? Too long. She's counting on her fingers. She's been there, I think it's about 7 years, in fact, when Irene started in sort of Key Stage 3. And again, she's seen the whole process through from the start right to the end. You know, last year in Post 16 has got loads of qualifications, accreditations and stuff she'll be leaving with. And I am sure and so confident she's going to do so well. So well done, Irene. And has George Loudon made it yet? No.
He's on his way.
He's on his way. So George Loudon's on his way. So again, you know, I took George Loudon snowboarding 4 years ago, Mr. Burns, 4 years ago, and there's a shop up the road that sold those like little BB guns, and we were like, no, buy BB guns. So George goes out and buys a BB gun, and then towards the end of the holiday, we go into the hotel room, and unfortunately, he'd made a little like dent in one of the TVs with the BB gun. But instead of sort of apologising to the staff at the hotel, the biggest dilemma for George was to take the BB gun home to show his friends. And we were like, no George, that's not possible, we're confiscating that, that's you know, you're not allowed to use that. But George is always testing our boundaries, testing the limits on everything. But actually, what happened with George when he started Headlands, he didn't really speak much, he was very quiet, very sort of, you know, reclusive type young man, but sort of as he's progressed through school and joined Post 16, he's become sort of a real personality. He knows what he wants, and again, I think, you know, he's a hard worker, and he's going to go on and achieve well. So well done. So can I just have a round of applause for my 6 fantastic. There's lots to get through now. I know the Post 16 team who have done a fantastic job. The whole of the Headlands staff team, but the Post 16 team have done a fantastic job in sort of organising today, but not just organising today, but sort of putting the work in to make sure that the experience young people have in Post 16 is thoroughly rewarding, and people get a lot from it. So I just think we just need to acknowledge the staff of the Post 16 for a marvellous job. Now to Mr. Declare. So Mr. Declare's been looking after Post 16 since Sharon Tweeds, who's been head of Post 16 since it started, isn't very well, but we have got her thoughts and her views that Mr. Evans is going to sort of read out shortly. But Mr. Declare's been sort of the interim manager at Post 16 and will be taking Post 16 on next year. So I'm going to hand over, without further ado, to Mr. Declare.
We're on the chair, and you're going to stop me from pacing up and down like I normally do when I start talking. So all I want now is a cigarette and a little whiskey and I'm away now. Just going to do a little bit of reflection, I think, on some of the young people who are leaving. And I went to a school leavers myself 2 days ago, and I didn't realise what an emotional occasion it would be. And I had to say, after they did the leavers assembly and they brought a cup of tea, I had to leave, because I just wouldn't have been able to keep myself together. In fact, I get quite emotional thinking about it now. So I'm fully expecting you guys to crack under the pressure of today, because kids do that to us, don't they? Before kids come along, life's really simple, everything's really black and white, so we just think about what we want to do today and all that. And as soon as young people come along, we got our own kids that we're caring for them, we go bottom of the list, and those kids come top of the list. So we have to put them first, and all our decisions are based around the wants and needs of those children. And it's massive. And what really hit home for me at the Leavers Assembly, there were some wonderful photographs of all the kids together with their friends I've never seen before, and just watching them having a bit of a laugh as they were watching with their mates. And it really struck home how lucky I was, because I've got friends who I've known since I was 4, and I'm still really good friends with. So you know, mates for, I don't know, nearly 50 years. I've still got the same great mates. So I'm hoping that you guys at the school will be able to look back on your lives and still keep the wonderful friends you've met at this really special place. Because I've got to be honest, I've never been to a place that changes lives like Headlands does. It's a fantastic facility, and it just gets better year on year. So anyway, I'm just going to just had a quick think about these guys this morning. I know Miss Tweed has written something down, which we're going to read. It's really because Miss Tweed, as you know, is responsible for setting up this fantastic place, and if it wasn't for her foresight and hard work, and we wouldn't be sitting here today. You know, she should be sitting up here, not me. So just have a little thing about. So we got the different people leaving today, and I just thought I'm going to hit with Tony first. So Tony for me is our resident social butterfly, really. And I can remember Tony prancing around like a real tomboy from Newport when she first got here. And she swore to me that she would never ever wear a dress. She, you know, that is a model of success. Heaven's there we go, a beautiful young lady. And
you're not Tony still?
I just heard that Tony was one of our biggest absconders, and Mr. O said no, she's not. What's really happened for Tony is actually she's become very adept at pulling the wool over. So she just goes off from place to place telling people she's got these really important jobs. So she's still doing the absconding bit, it's just under different guise, I think, isn't it? So anyway, I put Tony down as the most likely person leaving today to make a wonderful wife for somebody, I think. So fantastic.
Just between her or Adam.
Right, on to the next one. So, talking of Adam. Now, Adam's been here, if you listen right, since the school was built. In fact, I'm sure I had a conversation one day to say he actually built the school himself. He has been here a long time, it's 10 years. 10 years he's been here. And then I had the occasion to witness Adam's first kiss. The Headlands. Do you remember who it was?
Yeah, we're not going into it.
Put it this way, we were on the minibus and she was furry with 4 paws. And her name was Cassie, so there we are, fantastic. So I made a wonderful bond with some of the dogs who got to the school met. So Adam's a man with a plan. So he's got his next few years set out. It's wonderful to see kids with aspirations. So I know when I left school, I didn't know a clue what I wanted to do.